Hey everybody, I wanted to record this video because I noticed that a lot of us are struggling with some of our summaries, how long they should be, what should be included. I'm seeing a lot of summaries that are mainly too short, not including all the details that need to be included. So I made this document and I kind of want to talk about the expectations of these summaries for Turn Homeward Hannah Lee. So these are three summaries that I wrote about chapter one. And over here, we have the not yet. This is the one that does not include all of the information. It says Hannah hears a noise. She goes outside and talks to Davy. Davy doesn't want to marry Rosalind. He goes back to the war. So that is not yet because it does not include nearly enough information. It doesn't include all the characters. You don't even know where they live. You don't know what's really going on. That is not going to cut it. This one in the middle, getting there, says Hannah Lee lives in Roswell and works in the mill. Davy is home on furlough. He says no to marrying Rosalind because of the war. There were fires in the sky at night. Davy leaves the next day and goes back to the war. That is getting there. It has a little bit more information. We know a little bit more details, but we still don't have enough. Over here in the yes category, it says Hannah Lee is a mill worker who lives in Roswell with her mama and her brother Jim. Her older brother Davy is in the Confederate Army and is home on furlough. Rosalind is another mill worker and she wants to get married to Davy, but he said no, he doesn't want to die in the war and leave her a widow. Some of the people in town are worried because they saw fires in the sky that mean there is fighting happening at Kennesaw Mountain. Davy leaves in the morning to go back to Virginia without saying goodbye. So notice how on each one I say like Hannah Lee is a mill worker. She lives with her mama and her brother Jim. Her older brother Davy is in the Confederate Army. Every time, or even Rosalind is another mill worker. Each time I am saying all of the people and who they are. I'm not just naming the names and not listing what that means. I also gave why Davy doesn't want to marry Rosalind. I also said about the fires and what that means, and then a little bit of detail about him going back to where he was going and that he went without saying goodbye. So that is kind of what we're going for. Down here, you want to be careful that you don't include too much. There's only a couple of you that are doing this, but it's not a retelling. You're not telling me every single detail. So like notice in here, I said like Hannah Lee wakes up to see fires. She hears fighting going on and realizes Davy and Rosalind. She go downstairs, talk to Davy about it. He said he won't marry Rosalind right now because he doesn't want to come home to her in a word box. Hannah Lee gets some water for Mama and goes back upstairs. The next day, they eat cornbread. They go back to work. Hannah Lee's a Bobbin girl. Jim is a lap boy. After working for a bit, they go home for breakfast and they go back to work. Then they go home for lunch. Then they go back to work. I don't even really want to read the rest of this because it's just too much. You are not retelling the story, you are summarizing. So, all of the important things, the who, what, when, where, and why. So, focusing on this type of summary where you have all the just the important details and then nothing else. Please let me know if you have any questions.